Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Guidental. This is Dr. Saib Singh. So the subject for today's video is going to be physiology. The physiology subject has been discussed in two parts. This is the first part or the first video of the subject. Whatever topics I'll be mentioning in the video are also mentioned in my blog by the name of Guidental, the link for which is provided in the description. So starting with the first topic, that is cell structure, homeostasis and cytoskeleton. Here you need to know the fluid mosaic structure of a cell membrane in detail with diagrams, structure and functions of mitochondria and endoplasmic reticulum, only the functions of Golgi complex, ribosomes, lysosomes and centrosomes, structure and functions of cytoskeleton elements, that is microtubules, microfilaments and intermediate filaments, concept of total body water, extracellular fluid, intracellular fluid and major electrolytes in ECF, that is extracellular fluid. The names are sodium, chloride and bicarbonate, and in intracellular fluid the major electrolytes are potassium, magnesium and phosphate. Homeostasis, you need to know the definition and the feedback mechanism, that is positive and negative feedback regulation in detail. Coming to next topic, that is transport. You should know about passive transport. In passive transport you should know diffusion, that is simple, facilitated, uniport, symport, antiport with examples, and fluid tonicity, that is isotonicity, hypertonic and hypotonic solutions with examples. That is, in all of passive transport you should know the definitions and the examples. In active transport you should know the primary active transport mechanism, that is the definition, and the sodium potassium pump has to be done in detail. And in secondary active transport you just need to know the definition. Coming on to vesicular transport. In vesicular transport you should know about endocytosis, exocytosis and transcytosis with examples. In endocytosis you should know about pinocytosis, phagocytosis and receptor mediated endocytosis. The next topic is reproductive physiology. You should know about spermatogenesis, oogenesis, ovarian cycle. Ovarian cycle, you should know the events in the ovarian cycle and the uterine cycle. In ovarian cycle, the functions of corpus luteum and the luteinizing hormone surge, that is LH surge, is very important. So please study that in detail. Coming to hormonal regulation, you should know any two functions of gonadotropin releasing hormone, prolactin, oxytocin, follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, luteinizing hormone, that is LH, estrogen, progesterone and testosterone, human chorionic gonadotropin, that is HCG. These are the hormones which you have to study, any two functions regarding these hormones. Erythroblastosis fetalis is a very important long note asked from reproductive physiology, so you should study that in detail. And in reproductive physiology you should know the only the definition of Barr body, BARR, Barr body. The next major topic is, or the major chapter is, nerve muscle physiology. You should know the definitions of excitability and conductivity. Synapse, you should know the definition, types of synapse and detailed mechanism of neurotransmission of a chemical synapse with diagrams. In membrane potential, you should know the concept and values of resting membrane potential, action potential with the graphs and the ion channels. Difference between action potential and graded potential also has to be studied. You can be asked short notes on saltatory conduction, refractory period, all or none law, Chronaxy, Riobes and conduction velocity. You should know the ultrastructure of a skeletal muscle fiber, that is sarcosome, sarcomere, fascia, myofibril, light band, dark band, Z line, M line, H zone, etc. with diagram. This I am sure you must have studied in your 11th and 12th. It is the same repetition over here also in physiology. Next is skeletal muscle proteins. You should know about actin and myosin, that is the structure, function and names of subtypes. You should know the differences between isometric and isotonic contraction. Sliding filament mechanism of muscle contraction in brief with diagrams, and the definitions of rigor mortis, trepe or staircase phenomenon, tetanus and Frank-Starling law. Only the definitions of these. The next chapter is blood. In blood, you should know some basic values, that is blood volume in an average adult is 8% of body weight, that is approximately 80 ml per kg body weight, that is 5 to 6 liters. pH of blood is 7.4. The levels of formed cellular elements in blood are For RBC in adults, it is 5 million per cubic millimeter of blood. RBC in newborn, RBC red blood cell, RBC in newborn is 6 to 7 million per millimeter cube of blood. WBC is 4,000 to 11,000 per millimeter cube of blood. Platelets are 1.5 to 4 lakhs per millimeter cube of blood. In composition of blood, you should know about plasma, that is 55%, and the formed elements, that is 45%. Then you should know the definition and concentrations of plasma, cellular elements, and plasma proteins. Plasma proteins include albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen mainly. Some few MCQs that could be asked. Normal plasma protein levels are 6.4 to 8.3 gram percent. Normal albumin to globulin ratio is 1.7:1 or 1.8:1. Fibrinogen has the highest molecular weight of all the plasma proteins. Serum you should know the definition and composition, that is name of any two organic constituents, any two inorganic contents, and any two gases. Coming to hemopoiesis, you should know the definition, that is it is the process of development of RBC, that is erythropoiesis, WBC, that is leukopoiesis, and platelets, that is thrombopoiesis. Sites of hemopoiesis, you should know red bone marrow is the main site. In case of pathologies, extramedullary hemopoiesis can also occur in yellow bone marrow, that is the reversal of non-hemopoietic bone marrow, and in liver or spleen. But the main site is your red bone marrow, you should know that. Erythropoiesis, you should know the stages. You should know that erythrocyte can be stained by Romanowsky stain of brilliant crescent blue, this is an MCQ. And regulation of erythropoiesis by erythropoietin. So regulation of erythropoiesis by erythropoietin and the stages have to be studied in detail. Leukopoiesis, you should know the stages and the effect of colony stimulating factors on the leukopoiesis. In thrombopoiesis, you should know the stages and the regulation by thrombopoietin. An MCQ, myeloid stem cells give rise to all the blood cells except for lymphocytes. In red blood cell, coming to red blood cell, you should know the definition, any one cause leading to anisocytosis and poikilocytosis with subtypes. Polycythemia and anemia you can do from general pathology. Jaundice can be done from general medicine. These are the basically general pathology, general medicine, these are second or third year subjects, but the blog which I have created for these, they contain the material what has to be studied for these topics, that is polycythemia, anemia, and jaundice. So only that topic you can refer from those blogs and those videos also. Coming to red cell indices, you should know the definition, values and causes of derangements of packed cell volume, that is PCV or hematocrit, mean corpuscular volume, that is MCV, mean cell hemoglobin, that is MCH, mean cell hemoglobin concentration, MCHC, color index, that is CI, and erythrocyte sedimentation rate, that is ESR. Coming to hemoglobin, you should know the definition, the normal values in blood for both male as well as female. Structure, types and derivatives of hemoglobin, that is oxyhemoglobin, reduced hemoglobin, carbaminohemoglobin, carboxyhemoglobin, methemoglobin, and glycosylated hemoglobin. Only the definitions, what is added to hemoglobin to make these derivatives. The synthesis and degradation of hemoglobin and the bilirubin metabolism has to be done in detail. It is asked as a short note. Coming to white blood cells, you should know the differential leukocyte count values, that is the percentages. For each type of WBC, you should study under morphology, functions, names of any 2 to 3 causes for increased or decreased values in blood. Platelets, you should know about the morphology, properties, that is definitions of adhesiveness, aggregation, and agglutination, functions, and any 2 causes for the increased and decreased values of platelets. Coming to blood coagulation, you should know the definition of blood coagulation. Clotting factor, you should know the names of all the 13 factors. Basic concept of principle, you should know for waterfall or cascade theory. Definitions of extrinsic and intrinsic clotting pathway for formation of prothrombin activator has to be done in detail. Names of steps for basic clotting mechanism should be known. The role of calcium, vitamin K, and liver and blood coagulation should be known. And the fibrinolytic mechanism has to be done in detail. Only the mechanism. Hemostasis, coming to hemostasis, you should know the definition, mechanism and series of events in detail. The lab investigations, that is bleeding time, clotting time, and prothrombin time, you should know the definitions, normal values, and the significance. The next chapter is respiratory system. In respiratory system, you should know the structure of bronchial tree, that is Weibel's model, in detail with definitions of conducting and respiratory portion. Conducting, you should know, it is the first to 17th generation, and respiratory is 17th to 23rd generation. Definition and function of Clara cells, type 1 and type 2 pneumocytes, and amine precursor uptake and decarboxylation, that is A-PERT cells, has to be known. And MCQ, communication between two alveoli occurs via pores of Kohn. Respiratory muscles, you should know the names and functions, that is contraction and or relaxation of muscles involved in inspiration, expiration, and forced inspiration. Pulmonary surfactant, you should know the definition, composition, secretion, and the clinical significance. Coming to lung function tests, you should know the lung volumes, that is the definitions and values of tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and residual volume. In lung capacities, you should know the definition and values of inspiratory capacity, vital capacity, functional residual capacity, and total lung capacity, and variations in vital capacity. Coming to other tests, you should know the definitions, values, and clinical significances of forced expiratory volume or timed vital capacity, and the FEV1 to FVC ratio, that is forced expiratory volume 1 to forced vital capacity ratio. Coming to ventilation, you should know the definition and values of pulmonary ventilation or respiratory minute volume, that is RMV, alveolar ventilation, dead space, and ventilation perfusion ratio. In diffusion capacity, you should know the definition, values for oxygen and carbon dioxide, and factors affecting diffusion capacity. In transport of gases, you should know the oxygen transport in combination with hemoglobin, and carbon dioxide transport as bicarbonates. Oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve, Bohr effect, chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon, carbon dioxide dissociation curve, and Haldane effect. These are interrelated physiology, so you should do these in detail with diagrams or graphs. Very frequently asked long note as well as short note in your exams. Coming to regulation of respiration, there are two mechanisms, that is nervous and chemical mechanisms. In nervous mechanism, you should study about the respiratory centers, that is medullary and pontine centers. You should just know which center inhibits and which center stimulates the inspiration, that's it. And the inspiratory ramp and Herring-Brewer reflex. Coming to chemical mechanism, you should know the central and peripheral chemoreceptor mechanism related to hypoxia, hypercapnia, and H plus ion, that is hydrogen ion concentration. Coming to disturbances of respiration, you should just know the definitions of eunia, tachypnea, bradypnea, ania, hypernia, hyponia, dyspnea, orthonia, obstructive ania, central ania, hypoxia and its types, that is hypoxic hypoxia, anemic hypoxia, stagnant hypoxia, and histotoxic hypoxia, asphyxia, cyanosis, and decompression sickness. Only the definitions, that's it. So this ends the first part of physiology, or the first video of physiology. If you found this video to be useful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel Guide Dental for further updates. Thank you so much.